morning.
Good morning, ma'am.
Very good morning, guys. So we'll start the session now. So guys, before we could begin, my name is Sangeeta and I will be taking your SQL awareness session. Okay. So let me share my screen. Guys, can you all see my screen? How about now?
Yeah, it is visible now.
Okay, done, guys. So let's begin with your SQL topic, guys. Guys, can you all see my PPT as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
So let's get into SQL. So guys, how many of you are aware of this SQL? At least the basics. What do you know about SQL?
SQL stands for query language.
Structured query language.
Okay.
Structured query language, it is a programming kind of a programming language that is used to connect to retrieve data from the database, and to know more about database and retrieving data from them, we use SQL.
Okay. Okay, fine. So more or less true, guys. So let's begin with what do you mean by this SQL and how do we talk about this SQL? So basically, before I could even explain you or get into this database tool, okay, let me go back a little towards your workshop. So guys, basically this SQL is nothing but a tool to deal with your database. Now, how many are you aware of what is a database, guys? What is a database?
Database is like the backend where everything whatever you store, all the tables, columns, whatever you store goes inside a database, and few people have an access to it, and most of them, few don't have access to database.
Okay. So guys, for people who does not know or not much aware of what is a database, let me just explain you. Simple terminology, database is a repository of certain records. So if you really remember that we have done something called as an IT component or a component of a system. Remember, wherein I did explain you that we would have a user who would put the input on your screens and pages, right? And what's going to happen, this whatever input that you are putting in will go into the control unit, where the control unit will convert whatever content you have into some understandable language and pulls the data from the database. So as I mentioned earlier, guys, please understand, a database is a repository of data. And what does a database include, or what does a database contain? Tables and records. Tables and records. So, so basically, what is this SQL doing is, it is nothing but helping us to identify the right data and trying to understand how to get the data and display that into your user to the screens and pages. So if you look at my slide here, guys, a database is nothing but an organized collection of data which is generally stored and accessed from a computer or a system. That is what we all have. Okay. Now, why do we should have a database, guys? Why do we need to have a database?
To store the records, to store the previous for easy access of for the users, so everything might be stored for personal details.
So basically, why do we need to have a database, guys? Database, main purpose of a database, okay, is to actually identify or facilitate the storage, and at the same time I'm going to retrieve the data whenever I want. I'm trying to modify the data, delete the data, okay, when connected, when compared to the other operations. So basically, whatever work we do, we will actually connect everything to the data, and as a database, it is nothing but an electronic system which can retrieve the data, create the data, delete the data, most importantly, store the data. Okay, guys. So now if we talk about it, I'll give you a very simple example about Naukri, guys. Guys, what is the main purpose of Naukri?
To get jobs or
To
for people
identify
for
or pop up the right related jobs. You all agree? How does this do? How does this?
it's based on a recommendation and based on what we search, like preferences.
They stored up our resume.
I'm sorry.
They stored our resume in database.
Chalo, I'll explain you. We just
It will help provide information about various job openings and also collect information from our side.
okay. So basically, I'll tell you what generally happens, guys. Whenever I'm talking about a database, okay, all the data in the database are stored as files or records, guys, or a set of files. It is stored as files or a set of files. In simple words, I would use the word record. So anything, whatever you're trying to pull out, these files are further broken down into records. Okay, so now what you're talking is whenever you're putting certain inputs in the fields, you're putting certain data in the fields, what's going to happen is whatever input that you're putting in will be pulled out from these files or these records, and then the data is retrieved. So if you talk about the term Naukri, now let's assume I'm doing this, Sudhir, don't worry. Okay, now let's assume I'm talking about Naukri. Okay, so in Naukri, what's going to happen? Let's please mute. We are putting the name, the details, and the other content. What's going to happen is this Naukri will actually save it. Whenever you get into Naukri, don't you agree that they'll ask you to first fill up your data, fill up your content? Only then you get the resume is uploaded. You all agree?
Yes, ma'am, I do.
When I say Sangeeta, which Sangeeta should it pull out? There could be many Sangeetas. Don't you agree, guys? So, what does Naukri?
Sangeeta from COEPD.
I'm sorry.
The name you're gonna pull out from the name is written over there.
But again, there will be many such names, right? Now, it's all over the world. Naukri is not just for one country. Many countries use it, right? So now what they do is they will actually have created a record on my name. Most importantly, they will have some unique element with my name. Okay, so what they're going to do is the Naukri or any other database, let's take an example of Naukri, any other application, what it will do is they will save our details with a unique element, which is a very important term. Remember this, that from that they will pull out the required file.
Sorry to interrupt you. There is a lot of disturbance. Yes,
Guys,
there's a lot of
please
disturbance.
mute.
Actually, somebody has put his mic on.
Just a minute, let me.
Mr. Caller 02.
May I possible please mute everyone?
That is what I'm checking actually. But if I mute everyone, what's going to happen is you have to every time ask permission. But let's see. Oh, I can't mute.
So caller 02, I think.
Caller 02.
Ma'am, if we have any question, we can write down in the chatting. Okay.
Please mute all, madam, because so much of disturbance.
Yes, ma'am.
I am muting, guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I am.
I think caller 2 is making
That all I've seen is mute only. No, one person is not even connected to audio.
this noise is coming from caller 0.
If you can mute caller 02, that would also be okay.
Yes.
Anshul is speaking.
Ma'am, I am saying that this caller 02, this noise is
I
coming
don't
from caller
see caller
02.
02 here. Where is that? Mute all. I have muted everyone, guys. Okay, so guys, now basically, if you talk about this example here, what am I doing? So the Snorkel, for example, will actually might have created one table or a file on my name. Okay, what they'll do is when I'm talking about Sangeeta in specific, they would have created one unique element wherein it will be able to pull out my required data in the later stages. Okay, so the main purpose of a database, guys, please understand this. Here, whatever data that I'm talking about can be thrown in any manner or any fashion in the database. But this tools called as SQL, another thing, what they do is they organize the data in a proper format. And whenever we are looking for specific data, it is pulled out. So please, what you have to really understand here is, guys, is see, if you do not have a tool to organize your data properly, then the output time will be extremely lengthier. Okay, so the main purpose of this database is to organize the data in a proper manner. Hope it is very clear right now what is database and what is the purpose of the database. So now, when you're talking about this database, every database out there has certain fundamental functions, guys. Okay, what are these functions called as? In simple terminology, it is called as CRUD. Okay, it is called as CRUD. So what is CRUD full form? It is nothing but create, read, U stands for update, and then R stands for delete. Okay, so please understand here, this crude functions, okay, these crude functions are not done by a business analyst. Guys, here we are trying to only talk about what are the functions of a business analyst from a business analyst perspective, because when talking about SQL, there are a lot of points that is out of our reach. Okay, so your create, read, update, delete are generally handled by a database admin. Okay, as I mentioned earlier, this kind of functions are generally handled by a database admin, and we are not generally given access to create the database, to update the database, and delete the database. Probably sometimes, if at all there is any kind of a any point of a file we had to retrieve from the database, only we are given the access to read from the database. Please remember this. Okay, so we will only, and organizations we will never get an opportunity to create this database, guys. That is not our job at all. Create, so far, what do you mean by crude? Crude is nothing but create, read, update, and delete. Any database admin will do this only, guys. But as a business analyst, I'll only should be able to read, not even read, retrieve some specific files or records from the database. That's it. Only after we get an access, that also. Now, let's get into one of the very important topic here called as SQL. Okay, so as someone told me what is SQL. SQL full form is structured query language. So basically, under your structured query language, what is SQL stands for? SQL is a structured programming language, okay, that is defined or designed to facilitate the retrieving specific information from the database. Okay, so you will definitely will be able to pull out certain specific data from the database. Now, guys, when I'm talking about this database, please understand that there is some concept called as relational database. Now, SQL concentrates, or SQL actually speaks about the relationship between the database. See, I have a very simple question to all of you. Guys, if the database is not relational in nature, what is the point? Like, for example, see, I'll tell you a very simple example. Now, let's assume I want to go to Naukri. I want to pull out Naukri. Now, I want to get a job for a business analyst. Okay, now I am putting certain thing. Probably I will do that. Yes, I'll share the recording, guys. Business analyst. I'm saying I need 3 years of experience. Okay, point number 3. I want location. Let's assume Delhi. Okay, I want remote positions. Now, do you all agree that everything is stored in one record? The answer is no. What's going to happen? They'll first pull out the Naukri will first go to the table called as BA. Does Naukri have BA jobs? The answer is yes or no. If yes, then Naukri will go and check years of experience. You said 3. Again, it'll go and check the table called as locations. It will again go and check the table is type of employment. Type of employment, type of work. Most importantly, the employment, because it is you're looking for a remote employment. Are we getting this, guys? So basically, if the database is not relational, if there is no relation between multiple tables, what is the point of this database, guys? It is not going to understand, not going to help us. You all agree? So basically, this SQL will solve such problems and it will exclusively explain us the relationship database system, guys. Okay, and please understand, just like SQL, we have other systems also, which are nothing but MySQL, MS Access. I'll tell you, write the names. MySQL, MS Access, another language, probably Informix is one. Your Oracle is there. Sybase. There's so many systems out there which has the same concept called as relationship database management. This is also called as RDBMS. RDMS. I'm sorry. RDMS. Are we clear so far, guys? Okay. So MS SQL is also there. Yes. So now, to understand this SQL better, guys, let's get into 2 very important terminologies called as DBMS and RDBMS. DBMS and RDBMS. Okay. Now, what do you mean by the term DBMS? See, I have a very simple understanding. So, guys, this DBMS applications are generally stored as a file. Database management system. So as I mentioned earlier, if at all it is not SQL, if it is not SQL, your data must be stored as a DBMS. If you're using SQL in your organizations, then your data will be stored and called as RDBMS. What is the advantage? Now you can ask me, madam, why should a company have SQL? Why can't we just have MS, XMLs? The reason being, guys, your RDBM is stores the data in a tabular format, more like tables. As I mentioned earlier, your database has what, guys? Files. Okay, now whenever you're talking about these files, if you talk about a real organization, don't you agree there are like thousands and thousands and thousands of files? Now, when I want to retrieve the data based on the files, things would be a little difficult and it will be most oftenly you will get the wrong data. To avoid this problem, this SQLs have created these tables. Okay, so your DBMS management system stores the applications as a file. Okay, it is generally stored in a hierarchical form or in a navigational form. Okay, and DBMS, most biggest issue with DBMS is there it does not display the relationship between the files or the tables. Okay, when there is no relationship between the files, what's going to happen? You will have a delay in displaying the data. However, there are companies who still use DBMS, guys, but it is for a very, very, very small data and very, very small companies where the data is very small and the user is only single user. So it is definitely better to get your DBMS. Okay, and what are the file extensions? XML. Are you getting the any questions, guys?
Ma'am, like multiple DBMS can create the RDBMS, no?
No. So so basically both are two different now. DBMS is nothing but an extension. Like let's assume you are the owner of your company. You're a single owner. You do not have many employees. So instead of you purchasing an RDBMS line system, you purchase a DBMS. Okay, so basically both are database systems only. But this DBMS only supports your database like a file, like different files. Like let's assume Sangeeta is a file. Probably my age is a file. My contact information is a file. Okay, now let's assume you are there. Again, you are created as individual files. Like let's assume for both of us, don't you agree 20 to 30 files are already there for two people? You agree? But what is it doing? RDBM is actually compiling these files into tables for more better convenience. Are we clear so far?
Yes.
Ma'am, can you just repeat this DBMS RDBMS part?
Sure.
Particularly the difference between.
I will tell you the answer though. What is that meaning of what is a job though? See, basically DBMS.
Ma'am, excuse me. Ma'am, can you take one example so it is better to understand?
Yeah, that is what I'm doing. See, let's assume, guys. You have a startup, guys. Okay, chalo. You have a retail store. Okay, you have a retail store and you are the owner of the retail store, like a boutique. You have opened a clothes boutique and you are the owner of the boutique. Okay, now let's assume you have like 10 varieties of clothes and you just started your business. Now when you're trying to put this clothes into your application, what data will you store there?
Both cloth type,
Designer name, sizes of the clothes, probably price.
yes.
You agree? Probably if it is a very nice brand or probably very good designer, you might also talk about the type of material. You agree? Just like description. Now, guys, what does DBMS do? Same story. I'm talking about DBMS and RDBMS. See, what does DBMS do is here. When you're trying to talk about these varieties, they will say that let's assume 10 designers, 10 varieties. You all agree, guys? So I have 10 files. Size of clothes, small, medium, large. 10 threes are? You all agree? For every variety, you'll have 3 sizes, no? Do you all agree, guys? Yes, no?
Yes.
You all agree? Next.
Yes.
Price. Don't you agree? I also will have 30 amounts because for different sizes, you'll have different prices, no? For small, one price. For medium, one price. Large, one price. Again, let's assume for types of material, again, put as 20 types. Now, how many files do I have in total? 30, 60, 80, 90. You all agree, guys?
90.
Now, let's assume I want designer A plus 2 sizes plus 10 types. Now, guys, how many files must I pull out? You all agree? 10 types, 2 sizes, and 1 designer. You all agree, guys? No, don't agree. Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
Yes? You all understand?
Ma'am, can you come?
See,
Ma'am, can you come again this 10 file 35?
I'm sorry.
Ma'am, there is a bit confusion. Means exactly how many we are talking about different
Want,
types of files or different types of sizes,
see,
or
see here, basically in DBMS, what's going to happen is every piece or every data is recorded as a file. Please pay attention here, guys. Every data is put as a file. Okay. Now here, when I have 10 designers, how many designer files am I creating?
10 files.
If I have 3 sizes, small, medium, large, how many files am I creating here?
30.
You agree? So now do I have 30 sizes? I have 30 files. Now again, don't you agree? I'll have 30 amounts, prices. Yes. And what if I have used multiple varieties of material? I have identified 20 varieties. So now I have 20 files. Okay. Now I have 90 files in total. Now what is DBMS doing is whatever data that you're asking for is stored as a file, as single file. Okay. Now I want to buy one clothes for my niece and I. Now what do? I'm looking for a designer A. Okay. And I want to buy 3 sizes. I want to buy 3 sizes. Okay. So when I'm buying 3 sizes, how many prices must I pay?
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yeah.
From this above data, can I understand that we have got 10 types of designers, and every type of designer has got 30 type of sizes? Is it like that?
3 sizes only, no? Small, medium, large.
We have written 30 sizes.
So
Actually, it's 10 designers, 10 products, and one product will have 3 sizes. So overall, 10 into 3. So 10
And
into 3.
this 30 amounts also means that there would be 3 types of amounts?
of course, no.
For large, medium,
For a small, you'll buy different price. For medium, you'll pay a different price. For large dress, you'll buy a different shirt. Small size shirt, one price. Medium size shirt, one price. Large size shirt, you'll buy one price, no?
Okay, ma'am. I got it.
You got it? So now guys, see here. I want from designer A, I want 3 sizes, small, medium, large. I will pay 3 prices. And don't you agree there will be like at least 5 types of material used because these brands, these days designers. So how many files are being pulled out from the database?
12 files.
5, 6, 7,
12
8,
files.
9, 10, 11. You agree 12 files. Yes? So basically what is happening here is, see, when I am asking the data, you will yourself being so confused, imagine the database, how confused it will be. Don't you agree guys? I have to wait for a very long time to get my data retrieved. You all agree? To avoid this problem, we have a solution. That solution is called as RDBMS. Unfortunately, in DBMS, there is no relationship also. For everything, I have to wait from the database. Individual file, it will pull out, guys. Okay, to avoid this problem, we have created a DBMS, RDBMS, wherein not just the files, it is also trying to identify the relationship between these files. Now here what's going to happen? A designer table is created, a size table is created, the price table is created. Okay, even a type table is created. So database will go and connect. We'll understand it little later, guys, how it is happening in RDBMS. So everything we pulled out and the data is going to come out in a very convenient manner. You'll understand it a little later, don't worry. So basically, see, your RDBMS applications are stored in tabular format. Your RDBMS tables have an identifier. That is what I'm trying to explain you, a primary key and a foreign key. I'll explain you what I'm trying to explain with an example. And it is also has a relationship between these values in a table, and it is designed to handle large amount of data, and it does support multiple users. And the example here is what I gave you, MySQL Postgres, SQL Server, Oracle, etc. Now, let me explain what is this RDBMS. And you'll understand the difference here now. It's an example. So guys, see, look at this table here. Okay, please understand, and it is more like look at this table. Every row is called as a record. Every row is called as a record. Every column is called a field. Okay, and the unique key identifies a table row. I'll give you an example. In this example, do you all agree that Smith is repetitive?
Yes.
How about the city?
Yes.
State?
All are repetitive.
Oh, pin is also repeated. Is ID repetitive?
All State is also
The ID is not repetitive.
pin is
So guys, what's gonna happen is guys, please mute. Thank you. Basically, what is going to happen here is, guys, please remember that all the columns and all the tables here, everything is repetitive. I completely agree. But there is one row that is not repetitive, that is your ID. Okay, so what does RDBMS do here? See, I'll tell you. If you look at this customer, I'm talking about a retail store. We have this customer table. Please mute. Okay, so guys, if you talk about this table here, see this customer table. Here you told me name was repetitive, city was repetitive, the state was repetitive, even the pin was repetitive. But one row that was not repetitive, one column that is not repetitive is the ID. Because ID is unique, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's always a new number whenever you're adding a new record. Okay, so similarly, what's going to happen here, guys? Even in sales also, see, everything is repetitive. What is not repetitive? Your sale ID. Even this item table, this item ID. Okay, so this SQL, what does it do, guys? Please understand this SQL will name this unique column as a primary key. Basically, the tables are connected by keys, and these table keys are used to create the relationship between the tables. I'll explain you in a minute. Please understand here is, guys, see, whichever is unique in nature will be called as a unique ID, and this if you look at this icon, a key icon, this is called as a primary key. Okay, so every table would have a primary key, guys. Look at this, sale ID, primary, item ID, primary. So all the tables that is created using the SQL concept will have a primary key. So what is a primary key? Primary key is nothing but a unique column that will I differentiate you from the other tables. Is it all clear, guys? Do we have any questions, any doubts?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Clear? 100%, no?
No, ma'am.
Yes? Okay. Now, let's talk about this sales table, guys. Now, what is happening? They have a sale ID 1. So, they say that this item ID, what is 1 in an item ID table? What is the name of the item? What is camera? You agree? So, camera. What is 2 in the customer ID table? Steve Smith. So, what am I telling you? So, this guy Steve Smith have purchased 3 cameras with 64 megapixel cameras. So, how do you identify this, guys? What am I doing? I'm trying to get the data from multiple tables using these primary keys and then pulling out the right content in this table. Do you all agree now? So what do you mean by a foreign key? A foreign key is wherein you're trying to connect two tables. So your item ID and your customer ID would become what? The foreign key. You all agree, guys? What's a primary key and an secondary key?
Agreed. Please repeat, ma'am, once more.
Sure. See, basically, guys, okay, let me take another example from my system. So let's assume, okay, I am a bank, okay, I have certain products in the bank. Serial number 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, for the first serial number, I have a two-wheeler loan. For the second serial number, I have a personal loan. For the third serial number, I have probably a savings or probably your salary loan or whatever. I'm just giving an ABC, guys. Okay. So probably you have another ABC. Now, guys, again, let's assume I'm saying Sangeeta here, or probably Satish here. Again another Sangeeta here. And again, probably I will say Ram here. Okay. Now, guys, now tell me which loan does Sangeeta want?
Salary loan.
Maybe two-wheeler or maybe salary loan.
Because I'm only here for one loan. I'm not here for two loans. Which loan will you give me? Just a second. Hold on.
I'll need more details.
Just a second. I'm sorry, guys. Yes. So you all agree that I need more information, more clarity. There is nothing I can pull out from this data. You all agree?
Yes.
Now, what will happen? You will again go to another table called as Sangeeta table. Again, you have 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, you'll have some other data. So how can you identify which Sangeeta is what? There should be a relationship between this table and this table. You all agree, guys?
Yes.
You all, this is clear now, no? You all agree?
Great.
There should be a relation between this bank products table and Sangeeta table. Only then you know which loan I want as a Sangeeta. Right? So this unique, whatever you see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, which is not repetitive in nature, are called as primary keys. Are we clear now?
Yes, ma'am.
And see again, now what's going to happen again here, guys? So every table will have primary. Please understand. In Sangeeta also you'll have primary, multiple records of mine, no? So again, what's going to happen? You will pull out that I need bank products table. Say I need probably the third for the amount of, let's assume 1 lakh. So what is happening is, where are you getting this 3 from?
Product table, bank product table.
Bank product table. So whenever you are using certain keys to connect two different tables, that key is called as a foreign key.
Oh, connection between two different tables is called foreign key, and
A unique table, unique key is called as a primary key.
a unique key with no zero null value is called a primary key.
Exactly.
Okay, no repetition and null value.
No repetition is
That's
called
called a
primary key. Exactly.
okay.
So if you look at it, salesperson, this item ID is copied from this table, and customer ID is copied from this customer table. You all agree? So this item ID and customer ID are called as foreign keys. Okay, so please understand, these foreign keys are used to connect two tables together or multiple tables together. That is the advantage. So what is a relationship database management system, guys? Wherein this management system is trying to create a relationship between different tables and different records. Do you understand now what is this DBMS and what is RDBMS now? Very clear? All of you guys?
Yes.
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 Okay, this is what I'm trying to
Yes, ma'am.
explain you. So this RDBMS does have your foreign keys and also have certain primary keys and foreign keys. This DBMS does not have any such keys because DBMS does not talk about relationship between these tables and files. That is a major change here. Okay. Now, so guys, please understand there are different types of SQL commands that are available, guys. Okay. What are these SQL? Yeah.
Ma'am, your voice is now.
My voice is not clear. So is it the problem with everyone, guys?
No, it is clear.
Please
Now it's
check your,
now it's
it is clear is what they're saying. Yeah, yeah. Okay. So guys, we have multiple types of SQL commands, guys, which is called as DDL, DQL, DML, and DCL. Okay. Now, what are these commands? Let me show it properly. So guys, this DDL is nothing but data definition language. DQL talks about data query language. DML talks about data manipulation language, and DCL talks about data control language. So as I mentioned earlier, as a part of DDL, a person can create, alter, drop, rename, truncate, or comment on the queries. So please understand, under DDL, a person can do a lot of elements under this DDL. Okay. So, and also one very important thing you have to understand is this DDL is handled by a database admin. Okay. So what is this create? You can create an object. You can actually delete the object called as drop. You can alter the existing database or its object structures using alter command. You can rename the database. You can truncate. What is truncate? You can remove the records from the tables, and you can also add any comments on the record. So you can do a lot of things with DDL, and this is done by a database admin. Okay. And what do you mean by this DQL? You can only select certain files from the database. Please understand, you're only trying to look at the file and do nothing else, guys. That is called as your DQL, and this is what we will do. Only select the specific files to look or read the file. That's it. We cannot do a lot more in your SQL server. What do you mean by DML? DML is where you can also insert certain data into database table. You can update the table, records in the table. You can delete the records. You can merge multiple tables. Okay, and the files you can call, you can explain, and you can do a lot more. You can even do this. It's also done by a database admin, and you can grant and revoke. What do you mean by grant? You can give permissions to the users to use your database, and you can revoke. For example, let's assume I want to read certain files on your database server. Then you have to contact your administrator. He will grant you the access for a certain time. Okay, once he has granted you the access, you will work on the server, and once you're done with your time, once you're done with your work, he will revoke that access also. Okay, so this SQL command speaks about different usage of different people depending on the work you have in your SQL server. Are you all clear, guys? What is SQL commands and types of SQL commands? So as a business analyst, we'll only work on this select.
Okay, so
Hello.
Yeah, please.
Ma'am, I have a question like this in ma'am DDL. Alter is same as update of DML.
No. Alter is same as alter is to change. Update is to add. You're trying to update a file or a record. You're not changing it.
Okay, and drop is same as
Ma'am,
delete.
what is the difference between truncate and drop then?
Truncate
Yeah,
is
drop and delete.
to drop is actually to pull out certain records, wherein you're trying to delete certain objects, like delete a table, delete a database. That is called as drop. What is truncate? Truncate is where you're trying to remove the records from the tables, not delete the whole table itself.
Ma'am, drop of DDL is same as delete of DML.
No, see guys, please understand, drop is where I'm trying to remove the complete table itself. Delete is where I'm only deleting the records from a table.
Okay.
That is the difference. We have a record and a table. We are removing the complete table. That is called as drop. What is delete? Delete is certain files from the table.
Okay, ma'am, what is the meaning of comment?
A comment is wherein you're trying to add probably some information in that on the table. Because let's say another DB wants to log in and look at it, he'll understand what kind of changes you have done, or not you, the DB administrator have done.
Ma'am, and meaning of the explain plan and log table.
Which one?
Explain plan.
Explain plan, I'm assuming that, that is, I'm not very sure, but done by DB. But log table is wherein nobody can edit the table anymore. When you have edited, I can't do anything more to it.
so it's more like Excel sheet only, but somewhat like Excel sheet where you grant access.
More or less, when you have an Excel sheet where you can't let anyone do anything with it, this is a more serious affair is what I feel. Excel sheet is also a big deal. You can create one. But database is a more very, very serious matter, because once you get into database, these people are very careful with this database, guys. One small error you create, it is done. The whole database can get corrupted. The company will lose a lot of money by this.
Ma'am, hello.
Yeah.
I have a doubt. Ma'am, when I have said to interviewer I have experience in SQL, they ask me on the QL data query language questions, or they maybe ask on DTL like how to drop and truncate.
What kind of access you have with the database? Number one. Okay. Point number two, they will ask you, can you read the queries?
Okay.
Or can you create a query? Most importantly, can you read is what they'll ask you as a business analyst.
Okay.
Because
They mostly asking us.
the table that would not be done by you.
Okay.
Query DDL is required.
DQL.
Data query language.
Exactly.
Okay.
And for
Ma'am, I have one doubt.
DML, right?
Sorry?
For inserting any comment or any data or any detail, we use DML, right?
DML, DDL, all that, yes. That is not.
But DCL
please understand.
by BL, right?
That is not even your interview question, because you cannot say all this This is purely done by DBA.
Okay. Ma'am, if I'm good in read DQL and retrieve the data from the database. So can we say I have 3 year of experience in SQL?
Sorry, your voice is not that clear. Can you please repeat the question?
If I am expert in a database like only data query language, could I tell the interview I have experience in SQL, or I have only experience in query retriever data
No.
only?
When you're talking about a business analyst, you will say that I have experience working with SQL. When you're saying experience working with SQL, he clearly mentioning that I only have a limited access to read the query. Interviewer will know that automatically. Okay. So
And what is the exact use of SQL for a business analyst?
basically, for a business analyst, what happens is when certain requirements are there, and these requirements are stored in a database, and you want to see how the database is reciprocating on certain file or a record. Okay, and if you want to know, let's assume, guys, do you all remember that we have done this workshop mein flight reservation system? We have done a UML diagram. You all remember?
Yeah.
Search a flight.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
In that example, what happened?
Yes.
When you search for a flight, I wanted two locations in Hyderabad. Let's assume. Guys, okay, if the Hyderabad record is not there and the developer said I have put that record, what will I do? I'll go and search this database. What is happening? Why is Hyderabad not being populating out? I'm getting it.
Okay, ma'am.
So, as a business analyst, you might have to just.
You want to say that a business analyst would be able to retrieve a particular information the way he wants with the help of SQL.
Only thing, see, SQL is nothing but a database language, guys. Okay, so whatever data is there in database language is only come in the front end. You all agree?
Yes. Sir.
So now the record
so
is
he has to
hold on. When the record is not stored in the database, how will the data be pulled out? So now, as a business analyst, what is my primary job is to see why is the data not populated in the database, and if it is there in the database, why it is not coming outside? Or probably, what if I want it to come like this? Like, for example, I want my name to come like M.SANGWTA, but I see that it is coming like this. I want to see why it is coming out like this. Or why is my name coming like this? Probably that is how it is stored in the database. To see where is the problem, I'll go and open the database. Thus using a SQL server.
Ma'am, you mean to say that majorly the data, the SQL is by for data retrieval. He has not much nothing to do with the data or addition or work on something with the data, nothing like that, isn't it?
Guys, sorry, your voice is kind of broke in between. I didn't understand your question. Do you want to type your question, please, because it is.
SQL is helping more for.
Do you want to type your question, please?
Suppose after creating the FR, all these documents, and you want to make sure these documents are mentioned like saved in a database. So all the documents are inside all SRS and all that's for that B purpose, and these documents are being saved in database, so that the developer that misses out on the functional and non-functional requirements, and you'll have to pull out retrieve data from the database. To them or like
not a document, I would say a record. Like Sangeeta, this is my record.
Okay.
So how I want my name to be displayed is like one record. So if this is not how the client wants to view the record, he will ask me, Sangeeta, this is not how I want the first name and the last name. I'll go and search and look for the database. That's it. I will search for certain tables.
If there's a miss, okay, ma'am, if there's a miss from, suppose you have the valid documents, yes, what the client.
No, the documents won't be will be saved in a database. Your files and records will be saved. The documents will be saved in a folder.
Okay, ma'am.
It's not for sure.
As a BA, what command should we use that? We should use for command.
What command?
That the DML, DQL, these four commands.
DQL, data query language. That is the only access we will get. On SQL, what tell the interviewer when they ask what SQL? Nitin, you'll only tell them that, Nitin, that I've been working on the queries. I can retrieve the queries from the table. I can search and I can view the queries or the records from the database. That should be your answer.
Only retrieve and read the data from the SQL. That should be answer.
That is it. That is only we are given the access actually.
Okay.
Clear, guys?
Well, whenever we want to read the database, so we need to permission from the database administrator.
Generally, we will have to ask a database administrator, but if you are a core member and somebody who is very much familiar with the server, they will give you the access. For every time, you don't have to ask, provided the database administrator will not give you access to everybody. But yes, if at all you are very much aware of the system, he will give you an access and he will make sure you are secured, have a secured one. But not every time, generally. But if you're a first time user, then probably he'll have this, little tension. Why is you asking for this access?
Yes.
Yeah. Yes.
Ma'am, I have posted that question. Can you answer that?
Let me see what is the question. SQL helps a business analyst more with data retrieval, not with data creation, data maintenance, data. No. Major, right? Verghese. No, we will not get any such access. We cannot edit the data, nor manipulate the data, nor maintain the data, nor create the data. You will only be reading the data. That
means SQL is more related to retrieval only, isn't it?
Retrieval is pulling the data, but again we will only be reading the data. And you can retrieve the data from database. You are retrieving the data from database, yes, that we can do, but not anything else.
Okay.
Ma'am, I have doubt. How to read the data from the SQL?
We have to we have to download the application, guys, and we have to put certain commands. With that commands only we will be able to read the data, which I will tell you though. But for that we have to log into another session because I'm having a small problem with my SQL server. But I'll definitely help you how to install the data and all that. I'll help you understand that. But the other part I'm having a little issue, guys, right now. But let me explain you the other elements. But are you clear with this slide? Types of SQL commands?
Yes.
Done. So now let's get into how do we install this SQL server. Okay. So basically to install your SQL server, we have something called as, let me explain that to you. Google, okay, and you want to write this. Go to Google and you have to download something called as SQL or else download SQL Server Studio. SQL Server Management Studio is what you will say. Okay, it is called as SSMS. You have to here click on it and you can download this SSMS, guys. It is version 18. Just go to this free download and you will download the SSMS. Clear so far? So when you download this, it will look more like this. Let me show that to you now, guys. Yeah, can you all see my screen, guys?
Yes.
This is how you will download this is how it will come. It's very simple to download, guys. Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Okay. Now, one thing what you have to do here is, guys, do you see the server name? Right?
Yes.
So what's going to happen is you have to see, in reality, what is going to happen is you will have a connection to the server. We will get connection to the real server that we have in the organizations. But what's going to happen here, because of with us, guys, we have to download the data. Because we do not have the data in the server, we have to download the data, and then only we will be able to work on this database SQL server. Okay, guys. So what you need to do is, there is an option to download this data. What you need to do is go to Google. I would say download sample data for SQL. So you see this, guys? So you will download the data. You have AdventureWorks sample database. You have multiple such databases that you can download, guys. It's a very free one. Please download this. So once you download this in a .dba extension, once you have downloaded that, that is where I'll show you how to connect that. The only problem I'm facing now is this, guys. I'm unable to connect to the server. I'm having some problem here, which I've asked my admin to help me with it. So I'm unable to, once your server name is popped up here, you will get it right here, guys. I'll show you, you will get it as well. 1 minute. Huh? Can you all see my screen here?
Yes.
So once your data is downloaded, it will come like this: SQL VM1, SQL 2019 SQL Server database. Do you see this databases here? Whatever database that you have downloaded, it will come like this. AdventureWorks. Do you see this, guys? AdventureWorks 2016, 17, and 19. Okay, this is how the data will be shown in your SQL Server thing. Okay, the only problem we might all have is, guys, you might have to log in again for the next session, wherein I will explain you how to view the queries or the tables from the database. That is a major issue.
So when we're gonna have next session, ma'am?
Unfortunately, we will have the next session in the coming month, guys. Probably next week we have another session that is already scheduled.
Zero, yeah.
After that only we will have it in the month of.
Sessions.
I am sorry.
I have.
We have so that we'll be able to see that.
Sorry, can you please repeat the question? I'm very sorry.
Do you have any previous recorded session of this the same?
The problem is having the record. We do have recorded session, not a problem though. But the problem in the recorded session, they're not showing us how do the server name come up, how do we download, and how it comes up there. It is already there, connected for them. But definitely we do have the recorded sessions. You can definitely get it from the student coordinators. Ask them the session, they will give you. Not a problem.
Or ma'am, I have that system installed in my laptop. If we can do check right now.
I'm sorry?
I have that system installed in my laptop. If you
It's not the system that has to be installed, it is the database that has to be connected. The database is not connected. I have this system, I have this also installed in my computer. The only thing is I'm not able to connect to the database. Without the database connectivity, I won't be able to help you understand. And most importantly, we also need some dummy data to explain you how this command works. So, which is why I'm asking you to log in again.
Ma'am, at what time?
I'm sorry?
Today or next week?
No, not this week or next week as well. Probably the coming 1 or 2 weeks you will have. Not the next week. We have a Jira session, guys. So the other trainer will take the Jira session for you. Probably in the month of March. The schedule has not come out yet. So we will have to wait till the schedule comes out in the next coming month.
And can we get the recorded session from the later?
I'm sorry?
Can we get the recorded session from the
You can
coordinator?
get the recordings. Yes, guys, you all can get the recordings from the student coordinator. She will give you the recordings of all of this. You can use the recordings and also listen to the class. And once if you're done with, you're satisfied with the recording, we are good to go. But if you're not satisfied, then you can again connect back to the session of SQL and you can listen to the class.
Ma'am, I have a doubt.
Yeah, please.
If I learn from Microsoft SQL or how to query, and after that there is a market, yes, my SQL and Oracle. I'm able to read from Oracle database.
You can.
If I learn from the
Yeah, you can. Not a problem. But SQL is one of the most common database language.
okay, the retrieval process and all the same. And I have another question. What is my server? And I have read in the course company server, UAT server, and can you explain what is server?
Testing servers. That is different servers actually. They're not connected to databases at all.
What do you mean by server?
What is the?
Mean by server?
Server is a repository of records only. Server is nothing but a repository of records. Yeah, whatever we have, different servers, UAT server, production server, deployment server, multiple servers we have, where it is nothing but an environment where the work is done, like a secured environment.
Data in a server.
Yes.
I think database is bigger or server is bigger?
Database is definitely
bigger than server.
Server is only a temporary environment to work. Once your work is over, the server will be emptied and it will be sent to the database.
Database.
Sent to the database.
Ma'am, is the session done for the day?
The session is done. Yes, sir. It is completed. You can actually log out if you're done. Then we can do it again. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thanks for your time, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, guys. You're most welcome.
Thank you, ma'am.
Should connect our database.
Hello, may I ask one question?
Please.
Are you available?
Yeah, I'm available. Yeah, please tell me.
Ma'am, if there is a job in market, if you see 100 jobs in market, so I want to know in between 100 jobs, SQL job, how many
Generally,
in the
SQL is
100?
nothing but a
Suppose
database.
everyone has.
Having the knowledge on SQL
Yes.
is definitely an added advantage for all of you. Knowing SQL as a part of business analysis is a definitely an added advantage for you. It is not like compulsory you should know, definitely an advantage.
Okay. Okay.
So which is why
And
you're learning.
I have total
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, go ahead.
Ma'am, I have total 5 years of experience in construction domain, which is billing and accounting billing.
Okay.
In my resume, I shown 3 years of experience,
Okay.
and they, if I mention in a resume 3 years of experience, they will ask SQL knowledge is compulsory or
No,
not.
no, not compulsory. Not at all compulsory.
Oh,
It's not only we are learning SQL just for our advantage, only for an added advantage. That's it.
okay. And I did the course, and I'm just starting applying for a job, and I have completed nurturing process. And the interview asked me, when you complete this course, so what should be my answer?
Oh, from you can talk the institute name, no problem. You can say you have taken this course from this institute.
Sorry.
You can tell an institute's name, no problem.
No. When you complete this course, what should be my answer?
You can tell it according to what you are putting, right? You can say that you have completed it that accordingly. You're putting as your this thing.
Okay. And if, after this course, I could I say I'm a IIBA certified business analyst?
Yes.
Okay. I'm a certified business analyst from IIB.
Yes, IIBS certified. Endos business analyst. Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
You're most welcome, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye bye.